Hey there, lads and lasses. This here, of course, is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Wednesday. It is a little bit past noon. That can only mean that it's time for some Generations Minecraft server. And today we are in the Baby Zombie Rush Beta Creative World. Yes, we're back. Welcome to struggling with redstone for the next 2 hours. Welcome on in, the real foolish one himself. The mighty, the one and only Sage. Couple of announcements. Some Buffooncraft stuff. I know this is Baby Zombie Rush stream, but Buffooncraft stuff. The trailer for Buffooncraft Skies 2 had dropped this past Sunday. Please go check that out. There's a link in our Discord for that. There should also be a link in the Buffooncraft public Discord, if I'm not mistaken. It's really, really cool. Buffoon Skies itself, the event, will be a limited series like Buffoon Skies 1. I think it will last about 6 weeks, and it will drop on February 28th. And we are super, super excited about that. Watching you struggle with redstone makes me feel better about the increasingly creative structure of my iron farm. Hey, but we both learned something about iron farms thanks to Nova, right? Or at least iron golem spawning, right? Yeah, we became more intelligent by association. That's the way I do it. Because there is nothing inherently here, I'll tell you. I stand on the shoulders of giants. By the way, golems spawned in a very unexpected place and killed my illager. So the whole thing is stopped. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because of the absurdity, right? I mean, that's nonstop cycle of live and learn. Yep. I've been doing that for 61 years, buddy. Yes, it had no business spawning there. That's what you think. It had other plans. Let's switch over to the display. Here we are. Back to this place. Okay. All right, so when last we left off, we were working on this aqua parkour, and we've been working on this for quite some time. We're pioneering some new stuff here and trying to figure this out and, you know, having to relearn things we haven't done in a long, long time. Let's see if this thing is primed. Commands to reset features. These have not been put in yet. Good. All right, cool. Okay, we had a bit of a problem last time. Turns out that you can't put knockback on a stick. Or there was actually, it wasn't an issue of putting knockback on a stick. It was durability. Yeah, you couldn't like reduce the durability of a stick. Like here, we have the durability 10 out of 59, so it's got about 10 whacks left before it breaks. And I couldn't put that on a stick because a stick isn't a tool or a weapon, and so you can't apply durability to it. So I wound up going with the hoe instead, and ironically, the hoe looks a little bit more like an actual shillelagh than a stick does. The stick just looks funnier, I think. So. You cannot make a stick have low durability. Yes. It doesn't have that measure in the first place. Yes. Now, you can change game parameters and install mods that will allow you to do that. You can retexture the hoe and stuff to make it look like a stick. You can do all that kind of stuff. I'm not interested in that at this point. Maybe some other point. But the other thing is the game has to be usable to a level where I can just bring players in, have them run the maze, give them their scores, and off we go, and next contestant. You know, I can't make this too complicated. If it's too complicated, it's just too hard to run the game, and it's not fun anymore, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's why whenever I add a level of complexity, I do so very thoughtfully and quite regretfully. I try not to use command blocks. I try not to use mods and features like that. I just want to keep it as vanilla as I possibly can, just to keep it functional in a simpler kind of way. So that's the idea. So what we have happening right now, just a quick review. I'm not going to actually fire it up, but I'll just describe it. Player is running through the maze, pursued by bloodthirsty baby zombies. Runs, decides, looks here, I'm going to go in here. Runs through there. When they do, they will cross an area here that the command blocks will read. It will do three things. It will place a barrier here, so the player can't get out, but the baby zombies can get in. It will flood this pathway, slowing down yourself and the baby zombies. Parkour features will pop out of the walls, so the player can, if they decide to, try to parkour over the water to this point, because the player should be able to see the button down here. That gives the player time to press the button to see what happens while the baby zombies are wading through the water. They get a pair of galoshes, which is leather boots, with Depth Strider 3, and they get a shillelagh, which is a hoe with knockback 2 on it, right? Then a timer begins. They'll start on the way back. They can go quickly through here, knock back the baby zombies. Right about when they get to here, I want this to drain. One more feature to come into here where they can climb up over. Oh, no. Well, some of it engaged, right? I was a little bit too low, right? They'll drop down through here. The baby zombies can also climb over. Then they'll be on their merry way. And after a certain point, all of this will reset. That's what we're trying to do. Let's reset some things. Move a redstone block. That resets all of that. That puts that right in there. Good. We can remove some of this stuff. There we go. All right. So I have the detection blocks about 1 block high right through here. I did raise it up a little bit. Actually, I think it's right about at that Y level. Right there. Right about where the player's head is. Just in case the player happens to be dodging baby zombies and jumps. They shouldn't be able to jump over the detection blocks, but just in case they do, either way, they'll be detected here. Also, having this higher may make it so the baby zombies, if you happen to be running through here and a baby zombie runs through there, maybe the baby zombie won't trigger it. I think I have it so only a player can trigger it. I'm pretty sure. So where we were at right now is we've got everything working up to the point where we want to dispense the items. 1 pair of boots, 1 shillelagh, right? And it should do that. Right now I have it so it'll dispense them every single time you push a button. And push the button, that's not a good thing. I only want it once. So I didn't think about that when I put this in. Because I don't want the player to be able to spam the button. It just keeps spamming and spamming and spamming, and then this keeps going back and forth, right? So let me take a look at this. Is this a sticky piston or not? Targeted block. No, it's a regular piston. Good. So what could happen right now? Yeah, dang. I might have to rebuild some of this. I didn't think about this the last time. Yeah, this has an automatic reset, so you can't spam it, but the dispensing of the boots and the shillelagh does not. It does not. It does not, people. Okay, this might be pretty easy to fix. Might be. Thunder. So I'm thinking regular piston. We break the redstone there. We do a little something like that. There's Boacars. How you doing, Bo? You can see the auto shout out up there for Boacars. Please go check them out. Again, if modded Minecraft is your thing, Bo is your man. Absolutely. I was watching your VODs, by the way, for your hardcore, your latest hardcore project, and you struggling with the villagers, dude. That's always entertaining to watch, a Minecraft player struggling with villagers. It's funny in the most exasperating way, right? So we can do this kind of a thing. One of the other, I'm wondering how I should go about this. Again, we're trying to avoid having the player when they're in this situation up here. We're trying to avoid having them spam the button and get like multiple pairs of boots. And one very easy way to do that. Here we go. Here we go. The easy way to do that, folks, is this way. I mean, that's one way to do it. I would like to give them the option to come back again, though. There's Dora. How you doing? Bo is saying, doing good. Just got done de-icing the car. Haven't had to do that in a while. Now, Bo, I think you're in North Carolina? South Carolina? I think it's North Carolina now, right? Yeah, the South is experiencing some weather that they're not used to experiencing. You're in South Carolina, that's right. Yeah, forgive me. Yeah, it's South Carolina. I could do this, but it doesn't allow a reset, right? So oh yeah. Yeah, the compact snow, not the powdery stuff. Yeah, especially the snow that partially melts and it gets the ice crust layer on top of it. Not fun. A former New Englander here, I didn't move out to here to California until 2003. So I spent most of my life there. Yeah. It's funny because this is being treated as like an apocalyptic event. And I keep reminding the youngsters. New England, just look up New England, winter 1978. Just look up that one. Yeah. Lived through several such events like that. Okay, so yeah, we do, I was hoping to do this today, but I think I've overlooked this. And part of the problem with this is the cramped space here is really causing me trouble. Um, um, I mean, it's like no matter what, I'm stuck here. Because I really do need this for a... let me see. This is reading that. If I... Oh, but this does need to read this. I guess, you know, going downward even more, even if it's only by one block, probably is going to help. And you know what? We can turn a 90 here just by doing that. I mean, I could also use a comparator for that too, but observe is fine though. But if I use a comparator, I probably wouldn't need... the repeater. Comparator only gives one pulse. Former New Jerseyan. Let me guess, you lived right off the turnpike, right? You're on a 3-stream streak. Whee! Congratulations. You know, if you weren't from the generation you are, I would say congratulations for the streaking. But that means something a little different to us. The whole state is a turnpike. That's the joke. Yes. I've been through New Jersey. I haven't actually been in New Jersey as far as staying there for any kind of reason. I've been through it many times. But I guess that's a lot of people's experience with New Jersey, right? You're always passing through it on your way to somewhere else. Hey, I've streaked. I don't drink Windex. Ah, the Windex joke. It prevents streaking. Yes, it does. Let's see. So I'm thinking here. I mean, this is the cheap way of doing it. We could just do that like this. I mean, it's totally legit to do this way. You could put and then a redstone block across there, and then when it activates, right? You can get this kind of thing right here happening, right where you could. It's a little bit janky, but. I call it a 5-year stint in Jersey, my time there. Yeah. Yeah, it took you a long time to get through there, huh? Traffic must have been bad. I can't remember. No, actually I can. The last time I was through there was in... either 1989 or 1990. Me and my buddies went down to Daytona Bike Week for 9 absolutely insane days. Yeah, we loaded our motorcycles in the back of his van. 3 of us went down and we drove from New Hampshire down the 95 all the way down the east coast to Florida, Daytona, Florida. I think we made just about 24 hours on the way down and 23 hours on the way back. For you foreigners, especially you Brits in your tiny microscopic little world over there, that's about 1,000 miles. One way. Possibly, yeah. Maybe, maybe not. Let me see. So that'll hit here, that'll do that, and that'll do that. Okay, this, because it's a regular piston, will drop the block off. But see, what I need to do is I need to disable the button for a certain amount of time. And that's what I have to have happen. So you can't spam click the button. Now this will give you a one shot here. But it won't allow you to yeah. You know what might happen though? Oh, you know what might be good for this? Is to not use the repeater and have it drop the block off. That might be better with a sticky piston, but a sticky piston will drop it off. Let's try that. Sticky piston. So yeah, Dora, a bit of a funny story. When I went to Scotland in 2000, August of 2000, my wife, who is then just merely my smoking hot girlfriend, so we got a rental car and we drove around Scotland. So we started off in Edinburgh, right? And then we went the whole St. Andrews up through there, Inverness, came down in the Isles, right? Skye and Hebrides, and then over Oban to Glasgow, and then drove back over and then flew home. That's what we did. So we were there for about 14 days. And so when we're in Edinburgh and we're about to leave, when we get to Stirling, we're planning out our trip around, and we're calling ahead to the Airbnbs, right? And so we call ahead to an Airbnb close to Inverness in a little town called Elgin. So cute. And I'm talking to the woman there who runs the Airbnb, and she asked me, what time of day it is, and I said, "Oh, it's in the afternoon." I mean, she asked me when I'll be there, and I said, "Well, I'm planning on getting there in the evening." And she says, "Oh," she says, Mr. Thunderhand, it's already in the afternoon. I'm afraid you've got quite a journey ahead of you. It'll take you a full 2 hours to get up here." And I just thought, like a 2-hour drive is like nothing to us, right? I mean, that's our country's so huge, right? Especially Southern California, right? And it's just cute, It's just, oh, you've got a real journey ahead of you. It'll take you a full 2 hours. I could circle the entire country of Scotland in probably about 4 hours. It's so cute. Let's clear the inventory, shall we? I really loved that trip. That was so heartbreaking to have to leave that place and come home. Yeah, the people there were just fantastic. Yeah, it was so much fun. So much fun there. All right, let's just use a regular block for right now. And also, let's break this for the moment because I don't want any of those activating. In fact, we can just do this. We just do that for right now. I just have to remember that needs to go back in there, chat. Okay. So this will be a redstone block, and I'm hoping we can just drop it off, right? So, not quite though. I wanted to drop it off and then bring it back so it has a double pulse, but I wanted to do the single pulse. All right. So I think that means T flip-flop. Pretty sure that means a T flip-flop. Ok. Because a T flip-flop will give a single rapid pulse that will drop this block off. I was just talking to my dad about that. Americans go to a country in UK for a week to see the whole thing. But a person from UK on the other... It's got to be really bewildering sometimes, I think, when you go to big countries like the US or a country like Brazil, for example, or China, or those really huge countries like that. Then there are countries that don't seem like they're that big, but they're just monstrous. Like Australia, for example. A really big country. For some reason, my brain is not braining with this. I need this to do a momentary thing. So you know what? I think I'm going to need... You know what? I think I'm going to need this, like... I'm going to need the clock to also run this. Yeah, I think I'm going to need that. Or I might need a separate clock. Now, did I have this set for 1 tick? I think I did. Let's test this, make sure I have it right. Should be counting down when it gets down to a certain level. There it is, good. Okay, yep, and that works, and it's reset and ready to go. I was just talking to my dad about, yes. It's big and small at the same time, right? Just lots of distance between, yeah. Yeah, Armageddon's Fire is the guy we need to talk to about that. There are a couple places like that I wouldn't mind visiting. Yeah, I'd like Australia. I think I'd really like New Zealand. Of course, it helps if you look like this, too. You know? But, yeah, I think I would like those places. Bo Canada has the same kind of situation, right? It's what, the second? Maybe third, but I think it's the second largest country on Earth. But really, almost all the population is distributed like within that 100-mile strip right along the border. Yeah, yeah. Same reason, right? Why can I not focus on this? Because I'm having an interesting time talking to you guys, that's why. And that's not a bad reason. how do we get... How do we deal with button spamming for... Because formerly when I designed this, I was just going to have this a one-use thing. I was going to have it such that the player opts to use it, they go through and everything, and then when they're out, it just remains closed for the rest of their run. So I really only needed it to work once. So there wasn't really that much concern over spamming this button. But now that I've decided to give them the option to try it again at some other point, now there's a possibility that, because humans, you know what I mean, that they could spam the button and break it, or just mess it up, or mess things up for themselves. So making a one-time use is actually pretty easy, and that's the way I had it set up. What I could do... I know what I can do. I think I know what to do here. I could use a piston, not a sticky piston. I could use a piston here and pull from this area to set the block into place. And then when this activates, it would reset and push the block back. I could do that. I could do that. So, and let's do this. We'll simulate this as our redstone block for right now. So we need a system here such that the regular piston pushes it into place. Right, and then then this piston would push it back. Like that. So we would have this signal here coming like we had it, pushing that block into place. And then this signal here would split over to here and push it back. I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Let me see. We could bring this out like this. Now, if I do this right, I think this will power that redstone. I'm pretty sure it will. Yep. Okay, it does give a double pulse though, but it won't be a problem with that. It shouldn't be. I could do that. Okay, that's perfect. And you know what's good? It saves us a little bit of room. That's good. And then when this countdown timer reaches here, it should give us this. Okay, I'm going to take this out for now. So I want to see if it'll actually reach all the way over here. It might. Let's see what happens. That goes. Now this runs entirely off of signal strength. Yeah, I can move this over a little bit more, but it depends on how much time we want. I'm thinking something like that to help us out. That goes to there. Then when that counts down, there it is. Okay. Now we can adjust the timing by just extending this. But look, now it's all set to go. Now I think we don't have to worry about spamming the button. If I do that, right, I can keep trying to press this. And yeah, yeah. Good. All right, so that seems to work. So good, problem solved. Nice. We've accomplished something. Now, let's make sure that it dispenses. So if I'm over here and I push the button, there are my goodies. If I keep trying to push the button, nothing happens. Okay, good. But after a certain amount of time, that should reset. Yeah, okay, I took the other items out. Good. Okay, it works. It looks like it has reset itself. Good. Right. We could also, instead of extending this out, we could use we could put this in subtract mode with another comparator, and then maybe have something like a composter over here would give us 8 levels, an auto crafter would give us 9, and we could use subtract mode to get the signal out of this that we want with the duration and the time. Right? So I think what we should do next is put the code in for these blocks. All right, so what do I want to have happen first? I think the order in which I want to have this happen would be maybe retract the parkour features, because that lets the player know, oh, okay, I need to put on the boots and use the shillelagh and go back through the water. The second thing that needs to happen, and this is going to be really, really close, probably that and the step blocks that allow the player to climb up over the barrier. Maybe those things have to happen at the same time, or one immediately after the other. Then very close behind that, when the player's right about here, that's where I want the water to drain. Because I want the baby zombies to have a chance to see the player and to be able to start pursuing again. So the timing of this is going to be really, really tricky. But what's going to happen will be the code to remove this redstone block. That will have to happen right here. Good. And then this will let's say retract parkour. And you know what? We can put a gap between them. Retract parkour features. Good. And the cool thing about this is we've already figured that out, so we should be able to copy and paste. Right, so we should be able to come on over to here to this one. We can do that. And then if I just do Control C like this, and then come on over to here, and this, I should be able to do Control V like that, and done. All right, so that's the first one. The second thing that has to happen now is we need to do something similar to that kind of a code. And let's see the minimum that I can get away with. Let's place those barrier blocks first. All right, we'll just do that manually. Now, this is what has to happen. This has to show up like this. So what I'm thinking is I'm thinking this is good enough. I'm thinking if I just have that. Now, looks-wise, I would like to have this. It just looks better to do that. Oh, I did not think about that. Oh. Right. You know what? I have them activating here. I may have to lower that by 1 block. Because when they come through, it's going to activate it again, right? Yeah, that's going to be a problem. But see, a lot of these things, you know, I try to anticipate this, and sometimes I'm pretty good with that, but other times I'm not so good with it. Now these, we can put these like right here. This should retract those features. Let's see if it does that. It removes the block. Okay, so that, oh wait, we got to be careful though. Okay, we have a bit of a problem in that the parkour features and the water draining are attached. They're on the same circuit. That's not that big of a deal. It's not really important for the parkour features to disappear first and then the water to drain. So actually what has to happen is these blocks need to be placed first. And the other thing is when I remove these blocks after, since I'm putting a slab on top of a slab, it makes a whole block. I'm wondering what happens if, does that make a hole now when I remove them after? I think it does, because the way I'm going to remove those is to put a block of air here. But the other thing I could do is I could just replace it with these slabs, bottom slabs, to remove those, right? So I could do that, but I did not think about the triggering blocks being here. That I did not think about. So now I'm wondering, should I lower those down to here? Let's see if I lower those down, will it trigger when I step on top of those and not into them? Well, let's try that. So if I'm here, this places the barrier slabs. But that's not what we want. What we're looking for is these barrier slabs. Okay, I got to think about this. Let's take a look. That removes barrier blocks. This places redstone block. Okay. Okay, these are just the manual things. All right. I think all of that stuff is here. And let's see what this does. Set block, redstone block. Polish blackstone. This sets blocks into place. But there's something in here that determines the player walking across the path. And it's like at player. Okay, I think this is it. Okay, here it is. All right, let's lower the Y by 1 block and see what happens. And also I can do this too. Please, with the typing. I can type the word player. I know the L comes first, then the A. I know that. Hands, just let me do it. Player detection. So that, and I know detection. I know I need a D in the front. Just, again, just if you could let me do that and spell like a human, that would be fine. Thank you. Okay. Now, if I go up here, okay, let's remove the barrier blocks. Okay, good. Replaces those with A. Okay, so what I've done is, now formally, the barrier blocks, the detector was up here by my head. I dropped it down to here now. And let's see where the Y, this dimension is at. the Z, right? Here my Z is 1746. Here my Z is 45. Okay. I think I know what to look for. Okay, it's at 45, so it's actually one block in, which makes sense. All right, so it's going to be at this Y level and then across that Z axis right there. So it's one row in, which makes sense, because you don't, if the player decides to get about this point and say, oh my God, no, and then they make a change of mind, right? You want them like fully committed. So that's my line of maximum commitment. Single guys, you might want to consider crossing that. What happened? Yeah, place. Okay, what I'm trying to do is F3. I'm trying to get my F3. Is it Shift F3? Yeah, there it is. What? For God's sake. All right, and what I'm trying to do is, this. Okay, so it activates like it's supposed to. Okay, that's good. It shouldn't activate if the baby zombies collide with it in some kind of way, because it should only activate if players go through. We can test that. I need to get thee gone. I need to get thee gone. And remove those. Okay, cool. And then we need to take our break very soon, but let's just get this established. Let's place the barrier slabs. And what I want to test now is to see if this solves our problem. Now, see, I would like to just place these here and leave it. I think the player can take a jump, but I don't think the baby zombies will jump that gap. So if these slabs are here, they will. But that might cause some other issues. We'll see. But if I now... Dang, it did. It did. It still activated it somehow. I wonder. Okay, we'll come back from the break and we'll take a look at that. I might have 2 rows instead of 1. And if that's the case, we can just reduce it to 1. Yeah, it won't need 2 rows. Okay, with that said, let us take a short break for ads. We'll run 3 minutes of ads, and then we will be right back. Hey there, welcome back. By the way, earlier at the very beginning of the stream, actually, Sage had redeemed the H2 No Hydrate redeem. I did take a drink at that point, but I don't think I actually called it out. So let's launch it. Redeemed, fulfilled. I think I've redeemed myself for not calling out that redeem. Anyways, that's too much effort for that small of a pun. Let's switch the cam back over. There it is. Good. Okay. Great. Okay, yeah. So let's look at this a little bit more carefully. I think what's happening here is right. Okay. 745. And then it says go X 4 blocks. Go Y 2 blocks. And go Z 1 block. Right. I think I want. So I think what this is giving me is a volume of 2 by 2 by 4, and I want 2 by 1 by 4. So I'm thinking Z should be 0. See if that fixes it. Be nice if it did. Okay, that's good. That's good. I should check the height on the other one too. Okay, that's good. And then when I go there, okay, yeah, that should do it. Okay, that's cool. And then again, when I do this, it should not activate again. Yay! Okay, that does it. That's nice. That's nice. So that works. So that's two things that we've accomplished now. We managed to prevent spamming the button. We've managed to do that, and we've fixed that. So that's good. Let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of that, and I think we're all set. Good. We're reset and ready to go. Nice. We're actually we're actually almost finished this feature. We've been working on this thing forever. But you know what is cool about this is that this has a lot of features to it. For something that looks like it's very simple, it does have a lot of features. And so when we establish this and get this working right, any other features in the maze that are similar to this, we can just use these, what we've learned here, and just copy them and modify them, right? So that's going to help us out a lot. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of initial work to get this thing functioning, but when it is functioning, it's going to help us out a lot. All right, so the detection circuit, I need to leave this in place. Where does this set this block? This sets this block. 703, 751. I think it sets the block over here. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this first one puts this block here. That activates the parkour and activates or oh, you know what? We can do this. For features and floods. What should we call those? They're not paths. That is alleyway. Okay. So that's what that does. And then these over here, these place the parkour blocks. There should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. All right, so these I can set this here. Okay, these place the barrier blocks. And you know what? The black on the mango is driving me nuts. Let's do light gray dye. And let's do the glow squid ink. I always think the light gray or the glow squid ink looks the best on any kind of sign wood. It looks really good on the dark oak, but it looks best on that. Just my personal opinion. So this needs to stay. These things don't. These are just manual things to help us while we're building. It bothers me that that's not at a 45, but that's okay. OCD much? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, removes redstone block, retract parkour features. But this should be retracts. Retracts. Can I fit? Parkour. And oh, we're gonna have to change this anyway. Is that the first thing I want or not? There's Jeppo. How you doing, Jeppo? And hello. Hello over there in the Netherlands. How are you? I could not be better, thanks. And if I could be better, and I'm exaggerating, it's only like just only a tiny bit in first world problems. So I'm doing very, very well. How about yourself? How are you doing over there? My drinking problem. Sometimes I have the beard and it's like I don't feel the glass up against my face. Weird. Dropping some skellies. In Minecraft. Let's see. Earlier, I went on a cool finding expedition. Okay, so I assume you are Minecraft then. Are you early gaming it in some sort of map somewhere? Because those sound like early game expeditions. And I lit up a cave on the water. That sounds like early game stuff there, Jeppo. But it was intense because there was a creepy, and a skelly. So, in what order do I want these things to occur? I'm thinking, and I'm just spitballing here, but I'm thinking. Oh, hold on now. Oh, no, I'm good. Okay. This will remove retract the parkour features and drain the water. This will put the step blocks in place. You know, I'm thinking I probably want the step blocks in place first, but I don't think it's that critical. I really don't. Mostly been hiding in my skelly spawn at chopping ground. They're scary in the wild because holy colag. Holy cow. Jeppo, I really wish you would stream some of that stuff because it's just so funny seeing you do that stuff. It really is. Speaking of that kind of stuff, one day, okay, all right, I understood. Or something you might want to consider. I don't think you do this quite so much in this kind of way, but maybe record it. Maybe not quite full blown like a full blown let's play thing, but effort. Yeah, I know. Editing, right? That's what stops me from doing videos is editing. I'm not a fan. Like I have all of the ideas and then I do them, but then it's like, okay, now I've got to grind through. And a lot of those folks who are making those videos for Minecraft, very few of them do the entire process themselves. There are a few. There are a few like Etho maybe and Zed um, from the Hermits, but folks like Impulse, and this is nothing against them, but they have teams of people editing their videos and stuff for them and running their Discord for them and and it's I guess when you get past a certain point of viewership, you really have to do that, right? But if you're not editing your own videos and stuff and you feel like that's a chore and it's too hard for you to get through, yeah, it's hard to do. Yeah, it's not because you're lazy or anything. It's because it's hard to do, people. It is. I'm good at grinding and stuff too, and even for me, because my momentum for my idea just goes right out the window. And usually, if I have routines down where everything's like very very routine, that helps me grind through it. But if I have to, not only do I have to like get the idea, perform it, record it, and then start editing it, when I have to constantly learn how to edit it and then learn this and learn that and learn, and it just, oh my God, it just kills the whole thing. And what turns out to be, it should be a short 20-minute video is just, it's a disaster, right? My GMU worry. Momentum is sad right now, so I decided to fish for a while. Then I felt better and went exploring. Okay. Okay. Hey, something that might be of interest to you, and what? How did this happen? Um, and since it's the halfway through the stream, I usually re-announce things from the beginning of the stream. Is Buffooncraft will launch its limited series Buffoon Skies 2. It'll launch on February 28th. It'll last 6 weeks. It is a side event that many of the Buffoons participate in. If any of you recall Buffoon Skies 1, what we do is we have a skyblock map. We don't really have all of the features and the rules and stuff of Skyblock, but we do have a Skyblock kind of map. It's very minimal. It's in the sky. There are sky islands, and we usually will either solo or pair off, claim an isle and build. And usually there's some lore and some sort of adventure behind it and stuff as well. There's that component to it. We did Buffoon Skies back in 2023? Maybe 2024. I remember it was it during season 5 or season 4? Season 4, I think. I think it was during season 4. We did our Buffoon Skies. The video trailer for Buffoon Skies 2 had dropped this past Sunday. The link should be available on our Thunderhand public Discord, and also the Buffooncraft public Discord as well. So please go check out the trailer. Nova put the trailer together, and he did just a spectacular job. As of course he did, right? And it looks super, super cool, and we're super excited. A lot of the folks have already declared their solos or their pairs, right? And we have really cool teams. We also have some legacy buffoons coming back, who might also be in Buffoon Skies, so we'll see. But it's going to be real fun. So again, that'll be February 28th. The first episode will drop for that, and it'll run for about 6 weeks. And so the Buffooncraft stream, that's every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will alternate those Fridays. So one Friday will be, actually, no, I won't be doing that. One of the things I don't do is I don't stream Buffoon Skies. I record, and then if I have any good footage, I post the video on YouTube. The reason why I do that is I want the buffoons to be free with their language and not have to be walking on eggshells the whole time. Because Buffoon Skies, there's a lot more interaction, right? And so I don't want the buffoons to have to be editing their speech all the time and being self-conscious about that. And so if I just record it and I don't stream it, then I'm already resigned to the fact that I'm gonna edit it anyway. And so that just makes things more fun. So. So back to this, since we have 29 minutes left to the stream. These occurrences are going to be so close to each other. Well, I don't know. I might try to run these in parallel. I might try to run these in parallel instead of in series. And I'm wondering which would be, I think it's going to wind up being just as fast. I think it's going to wind up being just as fast. We're going to need 8. Yeah, so we can have this trigger it. It'll remove the parkour features in the water. It'll reset the button. That's good. And then at some point, the barrier blocks are going to have to come down. And I think I can have that coming off the back side of this. If not, I can have it coming off of here and doing that as well. I could also have it coming off of here and just delay it with repeaters. I could do those kinds of things. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's put this into place. We could do that. All right, let's check and make sure everything's all set. That's in its initial state. So is that. We're good to go here. We're good to go there. Okay, we're good to go there. Looks like we're all set here. Okay, so if I should do this now. Now I can't go back through here. That's a good thing. Baby zombies are chasing me under there, we've got parkour here. So we come up over to here like this. We do this. Now, the moment I press this, this is where things start to happen now. Let's do this. Let's clear our inventory. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, this will help a lot. There we go. Let's come on back over to here. And all the way over to here. Okay, players like this now. Baby zombies are wading through the water, but of course they're slow, right? It gives the player a moment to press that button. Goodies! So player can put these on. They have a stick like this. And then they start wading through. Oh, that's good. That's good timing, I think. Now, when that happens, immediately after that happening, I like the timing on that a lot. Now we have to have these features be placed. So that's the next step. There should be 8 of them. These features being placed. Player can then step on up over here, but can't go back in, right? So player starts running. But also, baby zombies start coming over the top as well. Now, can a baby zombie do that? No. Sorry, dude. Oops. Wow. He does not want to die. Stubborn one. And. There, if I do that, well, how come I'm not getting a baby? Oh, because an adult has to be in place, and then, that's right, it's been so long. It's been so long, people. Bye-bye. So we need to do this, and then that. Okay. Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to see if the baby zombie will climb up over this. Oh, he has no problem doing that whatsoever. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. It's kind of funny, this music, right? It's kind of like lullaby music. But there's this dude too. See, if you're quick, you can juke these guys, right? And then you have the knockback stick too. You can do that. Right, but the knockback stick should only have about 10 whacks on it. Okay. That music was timed perfectly, wasn't it? Okay. That might even be clip worthy. I don't know. But that's the idea. That is the idea, people. I think I used a command that gave myself like permanent night vision. I think Villager had me do that the last time. And now since I've died, I don't have that anymore. Okay, so yeah, that's a good thing. So this is totally going to work. And I think I know what to do. Okay, so let's look at this, and let's look at this location here. We got 715, 72, 1741. Got 715, 72, negative 1741. Okay, we've got that. That's one row of blocks that needs to go into place. And then they should proceed thusly. 1742. Oh, wait, no, that's not how they're progressing. Targeted block. Oh, I picked the wrong ones. 17, 17, 73, 1744. That's the, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong line. 17, 17, 73, and then negative 1744. That's what I need to do. All right, and then how does it progress? The next block, 17, 16. Got it. Now the next line is 7, 16, right? And so on. Okay, good. All right, so we have those saved now. F3, let's turn that off. Let's get rid of these. And we're going to need 4 of those, and so they'll count down like that. And the first line of code will go right in there. Okay, we can copy and paste here too. Places barrier slabs. And I think I want these to be top slabs. Yep, and so we can just use this, I think. And then just change Control C. Hold on. There it is. There it is. Control C, that'll copy that. And then let's get over to here. And let's paste it right into here. Control V. All right, now, what do we have for chords? All right, one set of chords, that makes sense. All right, and I want them to be here. So let's take a look. 1770, 73, 1744. I keep saying 1717. 717. There it is. 717. 73. 1744. So huh? Oh, that's a 4 right there. I think that's it. I think this should be done. And we can use buttons to test these. Right? So if I go like that, let's see if it put the block where we wanted it. Yes and no. All right, it needs to be a bottom block. So let's update the code. Now, do I just type in the word bottom or is it BOT? No, it's the word bottom. Okay. Done. Like that. Let's do that and let's see what happens. Perfect. Oh, that is so cool. All right, now we need 3 more and we need to just update these. So the next one will be 716, 715, 714. Nice. Nice and logical. I like that. My Y chromosome is so happy. All right, now we can just copy this. See, like this. Now we can do this, Control V. And we can now just update this to 716 like that. 17, 16, 15, and 14. We shouldn't need those on the end. Right? Okay, good. Okay, we're good there, right? So we do this, Control V, we paste into place down there. We come on over to here like this. That has to be 15. Done. And then this over here, Control V should be 14. And that should do it for that row. Good. Now we could do these individually to test them. But the other thing we can do is use the redstone like this. And then hopefully when I press this, oh, it looks like it only made 3 of them though. Why only 3? It's like it didn't do the initial one. Or, yeah, it's like it didn't fire the initial one, which is strange. Why would it not do the 717? That's kind of weird. I guess it did, but it just didn't do the command. It didn't display the command, which is okay. All right, now let's take a look at this. Now we need another row right here, because I don't think the baby zombies will climb that. don't think they're going to climb that. If I go like this, for example. Oh my God. See, if I go like that. Oh no, he will. He'll climb up over that. Yeah, he bopped right up on over that. Nice. So, in the interest of keeping things simple, I'm thinking that we just leave it like that and we just use the one strip. Then if for some reason it's a problem later, then we'll add another strip. Ugh. I know that there's a I in there. I know that. I know how to spell night. Both kinds of night. Okay, so that's good. The baby zombie had no problem hopping up there. I like this. I'm going to keep this like this. Okay, so that means I don't need this extra step block here, and that's a very cool thing. And then here, we'll call this places. You know what? Let's go down one like this. Places. Step blocks. We'll call that. And then we'll come up here, and then we'll just put a. How do I want to do this? Like, wrong ones. There we go. Okay, that's good. So that tells us what to do there, right? And then we're going to need something that removes them, all of the blocks afterwards. And again, that's code, but again, we can just copy it. And again, it's going to be a timing thing. And I'm wondering if I should just use a repeater clock for that or not. Trying to remember if Minecraft spells gray with a A or a E. Apparently it's an A. Okay. And it's light gray. And then we need glue. And I know I'm just messing around with aesthetics, but I'm also thinking right now. I know. Somebody grab the fire extinguisher. And, Jeppo, I use the word galoshes here just because it sounds silly. It's kind of like a bulbous Buffon thing, but not quite. Because, it breaks the alliteration, but so doesn't Mucklucks, right? So, galoshes. Galoshes. And, of course, this is... Where is the gazebo? So there are the shillelaghs. Here I was tossed. I had a toss-up between shillelagh or cudgel because they both sound funny. Cudgel is a little bit more brutal, but these also look a little bit more like a shillelagh. So, and it's Irish, so I figure, okay, well, we'll do shillelagh for that. Shillelagh. Why not both? Yeah. Is it too much to ask for a little bit of both? Oh, he's still alive. He won't be when we spawn out. The last thing we need to do is remove all of this afterwards. And that's what needs to happen. All right, we probably won't have time to put that in by the end of the stream, but we can start to think about it. The thing of it is, so we need the player to have time to escape. Escape. So you can imagine the player climbing up over here. We need time for the many baby zombies, should they still exist at that point, to climb up over here. And I would like the player to have time to run down to here. To right about here before that resets. Because if it resets too soon, I think the player might, I don't know, there's baby zombies pouring out of there, but then might decide, oh, let's go back in again. And that's not a problem, but I really want to encourage the player to go on through the maze, right? So, and then, through some, I don't know, series of circumstances, should they find themselves back here again, they're available to use this again, right? This is reset and available to use again. And so that's the idea behind that. So before I remove these barrier blocks, I would like a certain amount of time to go by, and it's going to wind up being quite a bit of time. So that being said, there's either going to be a very long repeater clock, which I don't want, or we're going to have another hopper clock, which sounds a little bit more like what's going to happen. I think it's going to be another... Oh. That's why maybe. Yeah, we need another piece of redstone right there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we're going to need... Now, the cool thing is, we already have one right here. We just need to copy it over to there. And that's good. That's good. Yeah, I can tell by that music that we're at the end of the stream. And then I'm thinking, we'll have the next... these will remove the rest of those. In order to remove the rest of those, we have 3 rows of 4 to remove. So that would be something like, that would look something like this. And I may just run those in parallel. It may be something like that. But there needs to be a clock in between there, right? And so do you have a set playlist for every stream? Yes, I do. I did not stream Buffoon Skies 1, though. So I don't have a set list for that. And you know what? I haven't been putting my videos in their set list, in their playlists for quite some time. But I've been meaning to do that. I've almost done catching up with putting the Kachi times in their playlists. But the Buffoon Crafts and the Generations are going to be, that's going to be a lot of work. You meant the music. Of course you did. Sorry. Yeah, I do have a set playlist for each stream. This stream I share between Baby Zombie Rush, Generations, and Kachi Time. So this is the same playlist for those two. And then I have the Scottish playlist is for Generation Survival, and then the Dark Electronic playlist is for Buffooncraft. And I think I have the links to all 4 playlists in the Thundering 64 community Discord. Well, yeah, it functions that way too, right? So, note to self. Note to self. Build clock here. Good enough. Okay, yeah, so we need to put a clock in there, so it'll take a while for this to activate. And it's like I said earlier, it's nice we have this clock right here. We can just copy this over to here with different settings and stuff, and yeah, super cool. Super cool. All right, let's pose for a screenshot like this for a fun thumbnail. Like that. All kinds of cool redstone. There we go. Let's see. How does that work? I like the one I had before anyways. Okay, let's wrap things up. Let's log off. Let's switch over to the camp scene. Let's do that. There we go. And I'll log out over here. Thanks for the stream. Anytime. Hey, thanks for showing up too. You know what? I think I'll have a stream ending soon scene. I've been meaning to do one of those for years. Maybe I'll do that this year. Maybe that'll be a goal for 2026. All right, now I do have to go fetch Kachi pretty soon, but I think I do have time to raid out. Let's see if there's anybody about, any of our friends who are streaming at the moment. I think Villager is still on right now. Yeah, and he's doing drawing too, which means he might be doing some of the bumper artwork for Buffooncraft. Let's set that right up. You could make your ending scene on stream. I guess I could, right? I would watch that. I don't know. That might not be as interesting as you think. Because I'd have to be like going into stream elements and uploading graphics and arranging them while I'm also doing the stream. I don't know. It's something to think about. I mean, if I could pull it off in a way that kind of made sense, I wouldn't mind doing it at all. All right. Let's raid on out to Flying Villager. Villager! Exclamation point, raid. You too, Jeppo. Have yourself a good evening, because I know it's evening over there. And you should see, viewers, up above, there should be the raid message up there in chat. You can copy and paste that into the chat if you would like to join us along on this raid. Let's set up the raid itself. And the raid is now counting down for the one and only, the mighty Flying Villager. He's a friend. He's also a fellow buffoon, a super, super talented, a little bit on the spicy side. Family-friendly viewers, he has a PG-ish sort of stream, I guess. Sometimes there's some language, a little bit of shenanigans in there. But it's a super cool stream. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of shared community, so chances are you'll see people in there that you know. Just remember that we do this generation stream every Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our next stream will be Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be Buffooncraft SMP Season 6. We have made some significant progress on our giant, our Fomorian sea giant off the coast of our base. It looks really cool. So we'll be doing some more work on that. Plus, the shopping district is underway. Buffoons have already made shops in there. I've made some roads and some infrastructure in there and stuff. It's looking super, super cool. The stream after that will be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Kachi time. Kachi says he wants to do some music for that stream. So what I've done is I've been working on a piece of music, and Kachi says he wants to sequence the drums for that. So we may do a music stream on Sunday. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for showing up, everybody. Raiding out to Flying Villager now. Bye for now.